It's This Week in Science. Hello, everyone. Welcome to This Week in Science, 8th grade edition for the week of May 4th to the 8th. Let's take a look at our week in science. Let's start off with the topic of the week. It's artificial selection. Artificial selection. I've got not one, but 4 assignments for you guys to do. Now, let's take a look at when should we be doing these things. The notebook and the screencast, artificial selection, ideally, that's either Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. In fact, I would say either of these 3 assignments, the first 3 assignments, think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Pick the order you want to do them in. The sooner I get the screencast out, the sooner it makes sense that this is Monday. All right, but here it is now. It's 9:30 in the morning. I'm finally making the screencast. Hopefully I'll get these things out sooner. But anyway, here comes your first thing. All right, it's the screen. I will make a slideshow over that one as well. So look for another screencast on that. Now let's take a look at the second thing, artificial selection video questions. Hopefully, yes, there they are. Found 3 videos. One is Carl Sagan. It's short. It's like 3 minutes long, about a crab. The second one is about the corn, about the evolution, not the evolution, but the artificial selection, which brings our corn to us. It's an interesting story. It's about a 15-minute video. I stopped writing questions after 12 minutes. I showed mercy. Anybody that likes popcorn, I think you're going to like this one. And by the way, I try to write these questions in sequence. Therefore, you don't have to go back and forth, just to make sure, you can hit pause, know your questions, kind of go back through it. It's just to make sure it holds you accountable to watching the video. Quite good. And this last one over here is, I didn't write the title of it. This is about, this is a Hank Green science show about a particular plant that is the dog of breed of plants. All right. So it's the dog of plant world. All right. So you'll learn about that. It's in fact, it's actually in your STEMscopedia, which brings me to my next thing. I chose that because of what's in there. Let's go to the STEMscope and why we're doing what we're doing. I'm going to not give you guys any CK12 this week. We're just because they don't even have anything on artificial selection. All right. So here we are. Artificial selection is what we're covering this week. I'm only going to give you the STEMscopedia. All right. That's all I'm giving you this week. Please do read it. Therefore, this might even be the best thing to do on Monday, to be honest with you. All right. Just read the book. That way, you know where the stuff's coming from. There's a small assignment that's attached to it. I really don't think this should take really the 45 minutes or 40 minutes or whatever you're supposed to get for a Monday, though. I hope it just doesn't take that long. I gave you one assignment. It is in your science folder now. We're also going to do this STEMscope assignment here, artificially selecting dogs. However, I didn't put it in your STEMscope folder. I want this done on the Word document that I presented, and you can just put it in your science folder. It's way easier for me to evaluate. I way prefer to do it that way. All right, so let's take a look at the assignment here. All right, so scroll this up.
Artificial selection. Explore.
All right. Let's take a look at what we'll be doing. This is the assignment. This is as a PDF. This thing over here shows up as a PDF. And then over here is the assignment. I dressed up the assignment a little bit. I was able to edit it and make it remote directions. I looked very closely at these directions to make sure this thing would work. I figured this assignment is going to take about 90 minutes. STEMscope says between 1 and 2 hours. I hope it doesn't take you that long. So the printed materials you're going to need this dog breeds worksheet. You don't even need to print it. You could probably just keep this thing. You never have to print any of this stuff because you can just keep it. However, you can look at this. This is when they talk about the dog breed PDF. This is what they're talking about. All right. It's in your calendar. All right. So I got you that. All right. So these are by the way, these are the physical. You got a collie, a Labrador, a Dalmatian, a Rottweiler, and a Beagle. That's really what you have at your disposal. And you're supposed to end up breeding dogs. All right. And you're going to and these are the different traits. Like, for instance, the sense of smell, which is an olfactory organ. Okay. If you're above average, you're average, above average. These are how, like, a Rottweiler's below average smell. All right. However, a collie is above average. and a beagle is just average. So you see what the dogs specialize in terms of how they've been artificially selected. Then you're going to be given some tasks in terms of breeding a dog with which dogs will you breed? All right. Okay, let's go back to this here. All right, so yeah, there we go. Adorable pups, little, they're companions, but they were usually bred for a particular purpose. All right. Now, the first task is you're going to be trying to chase down these feral hogs, which have invaded your ranch in southeastern New Mexico. Now, you got to think in southeastern New Mexico is probably what's the weather like. So you got to think of what type of dog, you want your dog dying of a heat stroke. So you got to think about the conditions of where you're at. You're in southeastern New Mexico. Now, if you don't know what southeastern New Mexico looks like, if you were ever to go visit, here's a nice image over here to give you an idea. All right, so there's a feral hog. I put my own image of a feral hog on the assignment that I provided you. So I wrote up my own and I dressed it up a little bit. I put some images on there. There we go. And then we got a dog, right? And the second thing, you got another client, and your other client wants you to breed dogs. Now this one's going to involve a lot more work, by the way. The part one with the feral hog, it's going to go fast. You just kind of pick the mom and the father. That's it. Over here, this one, you're going to have to do some work. You're actually going to have puppies this time. All right. So you're going to try to get a dog that retrieves waterfowl. All right. However, carefully, of course, this is for a scientist, not for a duck hunter. Okay. That would be a real job. Okay. These ducks over here are supposed to come back unharmed. Don't worry. I know some of you guys are really upset already just looking at that image. Don't worry. Okay. Now you're going to have pups. When you have pups, this is like part 3. You decide who the mom, who the father's going to be, and then you get their traits, and then you're going to flip a coin. You're going to flip a coin. If you flip heads, the mother's trait shows up. If you flip tails, the father's trait shows up. And no, you can't pick the same dog twice. You got to pick from the 2. All right. All right. The directions state this, right? So here we go. They flip the coin. Look at it. It's tails. So they're going to pick the dad's traits. So you write down dad, mom. Look at how you're writing that down. They even tell you how to do this. Oh, they even wrote, I erased some of those. I erased some of the questions, by the way, just to make it easier. That is your STEMscope tutorial. Now let's take a look. Now that we've got that out of the way. All right, now let's take a look what I wrote down over here. Here's the assignment I've passed out to you. It's in your science folder. This is the culminating activity. This is number 4 on the line, by the way. All right, artificially selecting dogs. So here's the assignment. Okay, like I said, it's going to take here's part 2 about breeding dogs. All right, it's going to take a while. Look, Bobby's already on here. Good job, Bobby. Boy, hopefully you watch the screencast first. He's probably scared. He's like, God, this thing's long. All right, so this will be Bobby will be a part of the did you watch my screencast? Right, so look forward to that. Okay, so here's your assignment. So have fun with this. You're going to be breeding some dogs this week. This is about artificial selection. So let's go back to the calendar real quick, and I think I'll sign out.